You promised yourself this time would be different. You swore you'd learned your lesson. Here you are again, irresistibly drawn to someone who, deep down, you know, will shatter your peace. That magnetic pull towards the emotionally unavailable, the critical, the chaotic, the one who makes you feel alive and worthless in the same breath. Why do you find yourself, time and time again, secretly attracted to the very people who hurt you? This isn't just bad luck. It isn't a flaw in your character. According to Carl Jung, this devastating pattern is not a conscious choice. It's a subconscious compulsion, a soul-level drama being played out in your relationships. It's a message from the chaotic depths of your own psyche, desperately trying to get your attention. And until you understand the language it's speaking, you are doomed to repeat this painful cycle forever. Let's be honest with ourselves. Think about that person, the one whose approval you craved like a drug, the one whose fleeting moments of affection made up for weeks of indifference or cruelty. You knew the red flags were there. Your friends warned you. Your own intuition screamed at you. But the attraction was too powerful, too electric, almost fated. It felt more real than any safe, stable love you'd ever known. This is the agonizing paradox you live in. You crave love, security, and respect, but you are drawn to relationships that offer the exact opposite. You find yourself performing, trying to win their love, trying to be good enough to finally fix them, to finally be the one they won't leave. Each time, you invest a piece of your soul, hoping this will be the final payment for their affection. And each time you end up emotionally bankrupt, confused, and blaming yourself. What's wrong with me, you ask? Why do I keep choosing this? This isn't a simple matter of low self-esteem. It's far deeper, more complex. You're not choosing them. Your unhealed wounds are. Your unconscious patterns are making the choices for you. And Carl Jung provides us with a map to navigate this treacherous inner landscape. He shows us that the people we are most intensely drawn to are often mirrors, reflecting back the most unacknowledged, unhealed, and powerful parts of ourselves. Carl Jung didn't see love as a simple emotion. He saw it as a powerful, archetypal force, often driven by the psyche's relentless urge towards wholeness. The problem is, this urge doesn't always lead us down a path of light and ease. More often, it leads us directly into the fire, forcing us to confront the parts of ourselves we have long buried. Jung's framework gives us 3 critical keys to unlock this mystery: the shadow, the anima animus, and the repetition compulsion. For Jung, your psyche is not a blank slate. It's a dynamic system of conscious and unconscious forces. Your conscious self, your ego, is just the tip of the iceberg. Beneath the surface, in the vast ocean of your unconscious, lie these powerful figures and patterns. When you feel that fated pull towards someone who hurts you, you're not seeing them clearly. You are seeing a hook, an opportunity for your unconscious to bring its hidden contents into the light to be healed. You are, in essence, being summoned by your own soul to do the work you've been avoiding. Our first stop on this journey is into the darkness of the shadow. As we've explored before, your shadow contains all the parts of yourself you have disowned and repressed. If you were taught that anger is bad, your anger lives in the shadow. If you were taught that being assertive is selfish, your assertiveness lives in the shadow. If you were taught that vulnerability is weakness, your capacity for true intimacy lives in the shadow. Now here's the crucial link. We are often intensely and secretly drawn to people who openly live out our own repressed shadow traits. Think about it. If you are a good person who has always suppressed your own rebellious, wild, or assertive side, you might find yourself irresistibly attracted to a bad boy or a rebel who lives by their own rules, who doesn't care what others think. Their freedom, their audacity fascinates you because it's a part of you that is screaming to be expressed. You're not falling in love with them, you're falling in love with your own forgotten potential for freedom. The relationship becomes a way to vicariously experience your own shadow. Conversely, if you've built a persona of being tough and invulnerable, suppressing your own gentleness and vulnerability. You might be drawn to people who are highly emotional, needy, or even damsels in distress. You feel a compulsive need to save them, because you are unconsciously trying to save the vulnerable, unacknowledged part of yourself. The pain in these relationships comes when you realize you cannot fix them, because the real work is to acknowledge and integrate that trait within yourself. Let's make this more concrete. Were you the good kid, the responsible one, the peacekeeper, the one who never made waves? You learned early on that your anger was dangerous, your desires were selfish, your assertiveness was bossy, so you buried them. Now as an adult, you find yourself utterly captivated by the reckless musician who lives purely for the moment, or the fiercely independent entrepreneur who takes no prisoners. You judge them consciously, but you are drawn to them unconsciously. Their chaos feels like aliveness to you because it's the aliveness you sacrifice to be good. Their ability to say no, to put themselves first, is a power you secretly crave. Look at the person who hurt you. Did they represent a freedom you never allowed yourself to have? Were they living out a life, however destructive, that was the polar opposite of the safe life you built for yourself? Ask yourself, what qualities in that person who hurt you both fascinated and repelled you? What part of their character do you secretly wish you had, even a little bit? The answer is likely a signpost pointing directly to your own unintegrated shadow. The second, and perhaps most potent force at play, is the projection of the anima in men and the animus in women. As we've discussed, these are the inner unconscious masculine and feminine archetypes we all carry. When these archetypes are unconscious, we don't experience them as part of ourselves. Instead, we project them onto people in the outer world. We fall in love not with a real person, but with the vessel carrying the reflection of our own soul. This explains that feeling of fated connection or soulmates when you meet someone who perfectly matches the unconscious image of your anima or animus. The psychological hook is immediate and overwhelming. It feels like you've known them forever, because in a way you have. You've known this inner figure your entire life. The danger arises when your anima or animus is underdeveloped or has shadow qualities, often shaped by negative experiences with parental figures. For a man, if his inner anima is associated with the critical or emotionally manipulative aspects of his mother, he may find himself repeatedly drawn to women who are critical, distant, or manipulative. He is replaying a familiar drama, unconsciously hoping to finally win the love or approval he never got. He is attracted to the pain because the pattern is familiar. For a woman, if her inner animus is shaped by a distant, authoritarian, or unreliable father, she may be drawn to men who are emotionally unavailable, controlling, or untrustworthy. She might mistake that emotional distance for strength, or that unreliability for excitement. She is trying to heal her father wound by choosing a partner who perfectly recreates it. This goes beyond simple preference. It's about restaging a play from your childhood. If you had an emotionally distant or critical father, your animus might write a script where you are constantly trying to win the approval of emotionally distant men. You mistake their lack of attention for a challenge, their criticism for a sign that you need to try harder. You're not trying to win their love. You are, in essence, a child again, trying to finally win the love of your father by casting your partner in his role. Conversely, if your primary male figure was passive or weak, you might be drawn to men you can mother or control, reenacting a dynamic where you feel needed and powerful. What role did you unconsciously assign to the person who hurt you? Were they the king you had to please, the lost boy you had to save, or the judge you could never satisfy? Understanding the role reveals the script. Think about the dynamic. Were you trying to get something from your partner that you felt you never received in childhood? This isn't about blaming your parents. It's about understanding the powerful psychological blueprint you're operating from. The third layer that locks this pattern in place is what Freud called the repetition compulsion, which Jungian psychology also acknowledges. The psyche has a powerful, unconscious urge to repeat traumatic or unresolved experiences, not to torture us, but in a desperate attempt to master them. If you experienced abandonment as a child, your unconscious will seek out partners who are likely to abandon you. If you grew up with chaos, you will feel a strange at-homeness in chaotic relationships. Stability might feel boring or unreal to you because your nervous system is wired for crisis. This leads to the phenomenon of trauma bonding. The intense emotional highs and lows of a toxic relationship, the cycle of idealization, devaluation, and then a brief return to idealization, create a powerful biochemical addiction. The moments of relief and affection after a period of cruelty are incredibly potent. You become addicted not to the person, but to the roller coaster of your own stress hormones and brain chemicals. You mistake the intensity of the drama for the depth of the love. Let's talk about the biology of this trap. This isn't just a psychological pull, it's a chemical addiction. This cycle of being hurt and then shown affection is a form of what psychologists call intermittent reinforcement. It's the same principle that makes slot machines in casinos so addictive. You never know when you'll get the reward, the moment of love, the apology, the affection, so your brain becomes flooded with dopamine in anticipation. The uncertainty is the hook. A stable, predictable love doesn't create these intense chemical spikes. Your nervous system, especially if it's used to chaos, misinterprets this biochemical roller coaster as passion or deep love. You're not addicted to the person, you are chemically bonded to the cycle of pain and relief. Have you ever felt that almost physical craving for them after a fight? That desperate need for the good times to come back? That is the feeling of a trauma bond, a powerful chemical chain masquerading as love. This is why leaving is so hard. You're not just leaving a person, you're leaving a familiar psychological universe, a powerful chemical addiction, and an unconscious quest to heal an old wound. Here is the most unsettling truth of all, the core of Jung's insight. In these patterns, you are not attracted to these people despite the pain they cause. You are, on a deep, unconscious level, attracted to them because of the pain. The pain is the signal. The pain is the homing beacon. Your soul is not seeking comfort, it is seeking wholeness. And it knows that wholeness can only be achieved by making the unconscious conscious. The person who hurts you is simply the catalyst, the unwilling teacher your psyche has chosen to force you to look at your own wounds, your own shadow, your own unhealed complexes. To try and find a perfect person who will never hurt you is to miss the point entirely. It's an attempt to stay asleep. The true path to freedom isn't about finding the right person, it's about becoming the right person yourself, one who no longer needs to unconsciously seek out pain to feel whole. How do you break this devastating cycle? The answer is not in changing them, but in healing you. It's a journey inward, into the chaotic depths you've been avoiding. 1. Conscious acknowledgement. The first step is to stop calling this bad luck and start calling it what it is, a pattern. Acknowledge without judgment that you are drawn to these dynamics. Awareness is the first light in the darkness. 2. Shadow integration. Do the work. Look at the people who attract you. What qualities do they have that you've denied in yourself? Start to find healthy, constructive ways to express these parts of your own personality so you no longer need someone else to act them out for you. 3. Heal the parent wound. Understand your relationship with your parents. How has it shaped your inner masculine or feminine? This often requires introspection, journaling, or sometimes professional therapy. The goal is to reparent yourself, to give yourself the validation and security you didn't receive, so you stop demanding it from your partners. 4. Feel the feelings. Don't repeat the story. When the urge to return to a toxic person or a similar new one arises, instead of acting on it, sit with the feeling. What is the underlying emotion? Is it fear of being alone? A feeling of worthlessness? Feel that emotion fully in your body without creating a story around it. This delinks the emotion from the compulsive action. When that compulsive urge to text them, to check their social media, or to seek out a similar dynamic arises, stop. Don't act. Instead, locate the feeling in your body. Is it a hollowness in your chest, a tightness in your throat, a frantic energy in your hands? Give it a name. This is the feeling of loneliness. This is the feeling of worthlessness. Breathe into it without judgment. Don't try to fix it or make it go away. Your only job is to witness it. By doing this, you are severing the automatic link between the painful emotion and the destructive action. You are teaching your nervous system that it can survive this feeling without needing the toxic fix. This is one of the hardest but most liberating practices you will ever undertake. 5. Cultivate your connection to the self. For Jung, the ultimate source of healing and wholeness is the self, your inner center of wisdom and stability. Through practices like meditation, mindfulness, and creative expression, you strengthen this inner core. The stronger your connection to yourself, the less you will be pulled off-center by external relationships. You become your own source of validation. This journey is not easy. It requires immense courage to look at your deepest wounds. But as you do this inner work, something miraculous begins to happen. The magnetic pull of toxic people begins to fade. Their drama starts to look less like passion and more like chaos. You begin to find stability and peace more attractive than intensity and crisis. You start to attract and be attracted to people who reflect your newfound wholeness, not your old wounds. You stop being secretly attracted to people who hurt you, not because you've learned a new dating technique, but because you've healed the part of you that was seeking the pain in the first place. This is true freedom. This is the reward of daring to explore your own chaotic depths. This inner exploration is just the beginning. There are countless more truths awaiting you in the chaotic depths of your soul. Does this cycle of being attracted to people who hurt you resonate with your own experience? What aha moment did you have while listening? Share your insights and stories in the comments below. Your journey can be a light for someone else trapped in the same pattern. If this deep dive into the human psyche helped you see your own patterns more clearly, don't forget to subscribe to Chaotic Depths and like this video to support this exploration into the truths that set us free.